2-3 days ago, sometimes, like I said, I go to the coffee shop to write.
Yeah.
And I end up writing something else as an exercise.
Yeah, you told me you just write. You don't even think about it. You just write whatever.
I wrote a story that was really funny to me. I met this cat when I was a freshman in high school. I really don't want to say his name. You know, I'm not friends with him. I haven't spoken to him in 30 years, but I met this cat, and he was a rich kid. His father was a mobster, left his mother for a younger girl, typical shit.
Yeah.
And his father just placated it by throwing money at him. And, you know, he had a Z28. He always had new cars. He always had new stereos. His mother got fucking fat and ugly. And he had his aunt that was a half a Momo. She had like her nervous breakdown and she couldn't go to work or some shit.
A Momo?
Yeah, like she just sat in the kitchen and watched game shows all day with drink fucking tea. So I became friends with him through other friends. And one of the guys that adopted me, Mike Runny, lit him up on one night. One night he tried to be a tough guy with Mike, and that's the wrong guy to be a tough guy with. And Mike lit him up at the park on 51st Street Park, bloodied his face.
No.
He broke his nose. Yeah, there was blood everywhere. So he always knew I was Mike's Goomba. So he was always kind of standoffish with me. You know what I'm saying? Like every time I'd see him, he'd say hello, and he was courteous, but he knew I was Mike's brother. And you can't tell me a story about Mike.
Of course.
You can't come to me and tell me anything about Mike because I'll smack you.
I have friends like that.
So me and him became kind of friends, and we would take rides, and they were all scared to go into the city. They were reefer heads. So I would say, I'll take you to the spot. My fee was a bag.
To drive them?
They would drive.
Oh.
And I would get out of the car, walk into the spot, get the reefer, and then get back in the car and give it to them. Little did they know I would take a butt out of their bag.
Of course.
I was working them to death.
Yeah.
And I knew the guys in the bodega. They would take care of me, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, I kind of liked him, but he still wasn't one of my favorites. And one night when I was like a junior or the beginning of my senior year, I saw him out one night, and he goes, get in the car. You want to take a ride with us? And we're smoking pot and listening to loud music, going around North Bergen where I live. And he had a crush on this girl. And the girls were hanging out in front of this park. And it was 4 of us. And he got out of the car and started talking to the girl. Well, guess what? The girl had a boyfriend that was a fucking gorilla. He rolled up with one of his buddies and without provocation just started beating up on my buddy.
No.
I just opened up. So all us 3 get out of the car, and I'm trying to de-escalate the situation.
How?
By just breaking him apart. The guy he was, they called him Rocky. Like his father owned a diner in Fairview, New Jersey or some shit. And the guy was a big kid. He was roided up. He fucking pummeled Perry. That was the kid's name. So we all got back in the Z28. He dropped us off. And about a week later, somebody said to me, dog, you know, he's mad at you because he said you didn't have his back. And I go, what are you talking about? It was 4 against 2. We would have killed those guys. There was no reason to escalate the situation.
Yeah.
They would have just come back with 20 guys, and then our whole town's at war.
Yeah.
Let's just break it up.
Get out.
Everybody take their punches, and that's what I told him. And he goes, well, he took it like whatever. So I confronted him about it. He goes, well, I wanted to fight him. I go, Perry, he was knocking the fuck out of you. You weren't going nowhere out here. There was nowhere to go. So over the years, him and I had this thing. We were cool because we had mutual friends. So we ended up in different places. I leave. I go to Colorado. I never think about him. I move on with my life. I go back to New Jersey in '84. Everybody's a drug dealer. Everybody's in the mafia. Everybody's selling coke. Everybody.
That's insane.
It's like leaving right now and coming back. And when I come back, Lee and you are big time coke dealers. And I'm like, he never did coke.
It's so weird though. Like, how come no one just got a...
That's how cocaine spread in the early 80s. It was that fast.
Damn.
83 to 85, it spread like a fucking wildfire. When you watch the 7-5 or the other documentary, they're not lying. It took over. Like, where they were selling, you would be coming here for years to this corner to buy weed. And one day you showed up and they're like, they ain't got no more. We ain't selling weed no more. It's a straight up rock on this motherfucker. And you're like that's how quick it had taken over.
Huh. Man.
So when I moved back, I bumped into him one day and he's like, dog, I got this coke. Nobody else has this connection. He gave me 2 blasts, Kate. It was out of this fucking world.
What did you like the first time I tried coke?
I was
didn't
already
even
doing.
feel-
I was like,
you were
I
already
started
doing
at
it.
16, but
That's insane.
now I'm 21, 22, 21, and I moved back to North Bergen for some stupid reason, and I bump into him, and he's telling me that he's selling coke. His father owned a construction company, so he worked construction. He was always a big shot in construction, but he was a degenerate gambler. So to placate this chick, he had stolen that chick from that dude.
No.
But she was like a high money chick. You had to lift the rock if you wanted that pussy. That's why she was dating the dude who his father owned the deli. She was one of those girls. She was
In the deli.
Yeah,
That's the high money.
Yeah, that's where the money is. She ain't gonna date no stiff. So he had to come up with Gitas to date this girl, and he had the construction job, he gambled, and then he told me one day he got into the coke business. So he says to me, if you can sway some customers my way, I'll take care of you from time to time. So I started helping him out. It was easy in those days. Everybody was looking for coke. Every day.
Yeah.
Every day you woke up to
It's
somebody
still
looking
like
for an
that,
8 ball.
I feel
An
like.
8 ball, a gram, a quarter ounce. They were leaving to Miami somewhere for a month. They wanted to take it with them. There was always a way to make money in those days. So one night I saw him. We were working together for like 3 weeks. Me sending people over there, or me picking it up from him, and we had worked out a percentage,
Yeah.
like 5 points a week. Give me like fucking 100 cash. Just
Right.
and I'll tell you what, give me a gram of coke because it's 100 to me, but it's 65 cost to you.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm cutting the percentage. And I was like, you just made a bad mistake. Like in the back of my mind,
You fuck with the wrong.
Yeah, I go, you're
Yeah.
getting robbed.
Yeah.
Like I already knew I was going to rob him.
That's hilarious.
Like he was just on a hook. I would just put people on a hook, give them time to forget about what happened.
Yep.
Whatever altercation happened between us, I'd give it 6 months. And one day when the timing was right, I'd clip you. I would bang you out. I'd wait, and I'd even learn your delivery schedule.
That's insane.
Like I knew who you were getting it from. If I would drive by and see his car in front of your house, you just picked up. That means it's in your house. That means if I go to a bar tonight and you're at the bar drinking with your friends, there's nobody at the house.
You're just like me.
That means I got an hour to get down to your house, kick the fucking, and I would just kick your door in.
No way.
There was no fucking thievery or door
Well, it's not like they're
picking.
going to call the cops. My blow's missing. What are you going to say?
No. That's what I knew. And then they would come to me, but they wouldn't have sufficient proof.
Yeah.
And I had 6 gorillas that I grew up with that wouldn't let something like that happen to me.
It's insane.
You know what I'm saying? Like they wouldn't let this go down. So it was forgotten about. People would just move on and go, that motherfucker robbed me.
Did you ever do that and regret it? Did anything bad ever come out of it?
Yeah, I got a reputation, and then everything that happened got pointed at me.
Oh, right. Then everybody thought you did everything.
So once anytime somebody got robbed, it was me. And then what happened was I got accused of doing something that I really didn't do, and it destroyed me
What was it?
because they were close friends of mine. A friend of mine said I robbed his house. I wasn't even living in that area at the time.
Oh.
So I had to call the chief of police, who I knew personally. I hung out with his son. And I go, these people, these political people accusing me of robbing the house. I live up in Cresskill. I don't even come into that area because I had people looking for me. In the North Bergen area, I had like 3 drug dealers
Looking for you everywhere.
This was crazy.
That's never usually a good alibi.
That's how I lived. I would beat 2 or 3 or 4 people for 10,000 apiece, 8,000, 6,000. And I would lock myself up in a hotel for fucking a month. Eating
Jesus.
Chinese food, snorting blow in that area. And I'd wait for it to cool down. Then I'd come back like nothing happened.
That's so crazy.
And nothing would happen.
I've never broken into someone's house. Well, I like to get revenge, but only for personal. Like, if someone hurts me personally, like emotionally, I'll get fucking revenge and do crazy
Well,
shit.
at that time, like you said, I was in pain.
Right.
And everything that happened, it was the world doing it to me. So I would have to rob you. That was my way of lashing out at the world, was by robbing people.
Yeah, and sometimes I just feel like I want to make someone, like if someone hurts me, I'm like, I want to make them feel it. Like I want to teach them a lesson, but I want to do it in a way that they'll like never know it was me, but they'll feel what I
We were
felt.
talking about gay bars before. Let's just get it out of the fucking way.
Get into the gays.
We moved here and we didn't have a kid. So when we moved here one night, my wife and I were sitting here. Nobody invited us to a Super Bowl party.
Okay.
And we said, let's take a walk around the neighborhood. We walked around the neighborhood. We walked into this fucking bar, and we're sitting there, and the game turns on, and they got people bringing food. All these guys are bringing food, like cakes and
For the Super Bowl?
for the Super Bowl. And they
That's
got a
cool.
pool table, and they had all the food on top of there. And after about 20 minutes in, maybe 30 minutes, I don't know, I'm having a tequila, whatever the fuck I'm having. I probably got an edible in me. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, my wife goes, "You do know we're in a gay bar." And I go, "How do you know?" And she goes, "Well, fucking beside the chubby lesbian over there with the military haircut and the flag hanging, they had
She's
a
the only
flag as a tarp hanging over the thing." And again, I didn't get up and leave. I had a fucking great time.
Sure.
I ended up watching the Super Bowl. I ate some food. One guy recognized me from the store. He was an open micer. "I'm surprised you're even here," all that shit. I tell him my wife was here. He looked at me weird, sure, that type of shit.
That's hilarious.
But then I didn't know. I don't know nothing about the gay culture.
Yeah.
But then more and more when we met Eric, and then you have a gay friend, the Chinese guy or whatever the fuck,
Korean.
Korean, and then you guys are telling me that there's fucking, like, if you want to be a conservative gay guy, like if you want to be like, the people that buy, when the Boston Red Sox go to the World Series,
Right, yeah.
and people buy Boston hats.
Oh, so yeah, they're fair weather.
Those are the gay people that go to Santa Monica Boulevard.
Yeah, you're right.
But
West
the
Hollywood.
hardcore people,
They come to the Valley.
They come to the Valley.
Yeah, I didn't
Is
discover.
this true?
It's true. I didn't discover.
Now, there's no bar called The Mouthful.
Oh, no, okay.
Oh, I'm sure there's somewhere.
Eric told me
Well-
that there's a bar called The Mouth.
That's your friend, your gay friend you
Yes,
talk about?
yes.
Okay. All I know is I have a gay uncle and his husband who live up the street from here. And so I was taking them out to a gay bar after I met up with you one night. And you were like, "You got to take them to the Mouthful. I heard there's a teepee in the back. They get their dick sucked," or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. My uncle and me spent the whole night trying to find this place. We're like Googling Mouthful, Los Angeles, West Side. It's not. There's no place, but there's a place like that. I think the Mouthful is like not the real name of the place.
They keep switching them out there.
So
They switch names
All right, because the gay bar that I went to,
here in the Valley.
Has a flag.
so now,
Which one did you go to?
I went to the one around the corner on Burbank Boulevard.
The Bullet one. That's the one. No.
No.
he went
is
to
that
I
the
one
went to the
called?
one right
there's
over
one.
here.
There's one before the Bullet, which has a flag outside.
That's the
Now,
one where I got robbed.
There's one on Burbank Boulevard
yeah.
after Vineland and all that shit.
Yep.
I dropped Eric off.
It's
That's the
bigger.
Bullet.
That's the Bullet.
Oh,
okay?
wait.
That's the Bullet.
That's the one with 3 rooms.
Now, let me tell you what happened.
Okay.
Right. Let me tell you what happened. That used to be a Mexican restaurant.
Across the street, there's a big yellow one, right?
But no, that
Oh, that
fucking
one
place,
itself? Okay.
the Bullet, used to be like a Mexican
Oh, yeah?
Argentinian restaurant. And all of a sudden what they did was they took this gay bar over here and they switched them. Because that's why they started selling tacos in front of there at night.
That place is
That place
crazy.
moved over there.
Dude.
So I dropped Eric off in there one night. I knew that was the Bullet Bar, but I knew that somebody in my circle has mentioned, let me tell you what this gay bar is. I'm going to tell you what the gay bar is. You have to go
But if they realize
past
you're
Laurel Canyon, and after 2 or 3 blocks, you got to make a left. And you go into a neighborhood, and it's like warehouses and recording studios. And back there, you park. Because one night, I went to do Eddie Bravo's podcast.
and it was there.
And his podcast started at 11.
Yeah.
And when we came out, we were smoking. You couldn't smoke in the studio. This has to be 5-6 years ago. So I'm putting all these pieces together now. And at the corner, it was hopping. It was
It's on the corner.
It's on like a dead end type street. Nobody knows they're there. The purple lights are there. There must have been 20 guys outside with their fucking hats on. And then when I got in the car that night to leave, I said, "Let me see what the fuck it is." And it's like, it's a weird neighborhood in North Hollywood. It's half residential, but a couple warehouses.
I wonder if it's the same location.
So this is why I thought that was the Mouthful. It's really hidden. Where John Evan has his jiu-jitsu school.
Right, yeah, I know.
Is
Back
that
there, across the street is a strip club that nobody talks about. I hear if you go in there with $100 They'll around the world you. I don't know what the name
What
of
does
the
that
strip
mean?
club is.
What's around the world?
They'll lick your balls in your asshole and suck. But it's by a woman who's got shot twice, just got out of prison. It's
Visible
not, It's
herpes
not
sores.
something. When I used to go train jujitsu with John Evan, I would see guys going in there for lunchtime, and I asked John about that one time. I go, Professor, do you ever go over there after class at night? And he goes, that's not the kind of strip club.
But you're
really
right.
Want to go to.
There's two, because I always went to strip clubs. I go to strip clubs on
Now,
the road.
what do you hear about the strip clubs in the Valley? You
I've
fuck
been to
people at
two.
the bars. Lee said he went to one where there was videos.
Yeah, that's the one I thought you were talking about. Yeah,
The gay bar.
that's the gay bar.
With Eric.
There's two in the Valley that I've been to that are both. You got to understand, like, for the people listening, like, most of us go to gay bars where, like, straight girls go because guys don't flirt with you, but the gay guys love you and everything's happy and bubbly and rainbows. These are like if like the seediest gay dudes, like a gay mob, ran a club. That's how you have to even go down the one you're talking about with the videos.
Yeah.
You have to go down a little side alley thing to walk in, and then there's 3 rooms. If they think you're straight, or if you're me, they didn't even they wouldn't let me in the back room. The back room is like the sex, like everybody's fucking. I think that's your TP thing.
I think you might have gone to his side one, because the one that we're talking about, the Bullet, you just go right on Burbank, and they let me right in.
Did they charge you a cover?
No, but it was an off night after. I've only went once.
Wait, but is this the one with the video screens and the porn playing everywhere?
Yeah.
That's the same one I went
That's
to.
the one on Burbank by the Chinese.
By our old office, sort of.
They probably didn't
Okay.
let you in the back. Somebody's got to tell you about the back. It's
Oh
like,
no, I went to the back with the tent. I didn't go in the tent.
you went all the way back there?
Yeah.
They totally gave you a gay pass. They would not
Well, yeah,
even let me in.
my buddy took me on a tour.
I was with 2 gay dudes, and a guy was very, like, you never think at a gay bar a guy's going to step to you and be mean. Because, that happens at straight bars.
I love it. I had the best experience. Everyone was so nice to me there. He took me around. It was raining, so I don't think anyone was in the tent that night. But I was so.
I didn't get to see the tent.
It looks like one of those homeless tents under the bridges. It's like it's barely standing
I
up.
can't imagine what it smells like in that tent. Men's feet, men's ass, and like dead sperm on the floor. Because the jizz just comes out of their mouth. I don't.
Do you want me to show you? Because I
You have
no,
pictures?
I don't want you
not
to show
the tent,
me.
but I know you hate Yelp, but they have the best Yelp.
Really?
All right, let's read the Yelp reviews.
Because they have.
This is what goes on, and guys like me don't know this shit exists. So when I found out about all these stories, and then my gay neighbor and his stories, I was like, there's a secret foundation.
Dude,
There's like a secret island of that goes on in the valley.
my gay bestie, he'll do like, some people how they'll like party for a week and then take 2-3 weeks and not do anything at all. And then they'll do like a bender. He does that with fucking dudes. And it's the funniest. I mean, we were on the road together at 2 p.m. He's like, hey, do you mind if I go up the street? This guy on Grindr, he wants to hook up. I'll be back in like an hour. I'm like, you just found a stranger to go fuck, like an appointment? He's like, yeah, but I'll be back. Then he comes back. Then later, he's like, I have a date. I'm like, when? He's like, in an hour. He went on 2 fuck dates before the show and another one after the show.
Look at this.
Is this it?
This is my favorite Yelp in the entire world.
I can't tell if this is the one. Wait, this is in Santa Clarita.
No, this is in Burbank.
Oh my God! Just knowing that Lee
Look at
went
the
on
mask.
Yelp
Oh my
for
God.
a gay
Lee.
bar.
Why were you on
lets
Yelp? Did you
know
review
what
it?
I deal with.
Did you review this
is
bar?
the-
Look, I looked it
Alexa.
up because look at this stuff.
They had a photo.
Leather dog. Pound.
Oh, this is awesome though. Dude,
I love this. I
Have you-
love all this shit. I grew up in that. New York was eccentric for this shit.
no,
They
this
were not, and they were
is
doing
awesome.
this. They were doing this when you weren't allowed to be gay in New York. When I was a kid, like you couldn't tell people you could be gay in New York.
Such
They had
fun.
underground bars, and that's where we'd go. I would go to one in Guttenberg, New Jersey, to get coke, and they would fucking be doing disgusting stuff in there.
Who's that guy? I know that guy. Sorry.
Bears, whatever. Oh my God!
Who's that? I know him.
No, let's read the.
Who is that?
Let's see. I haven't checked the reviews.
I was immediately
the fuck is-
contacted by Madeline.
Wait, let's read some of the reviews. Yeah. Just visited for the. Hold on. Just say yes to everything. That's the best. The staff bartenders.
Oh my God! How is there a Yelp review for gay bars, ladies and gentlemen? I am learning something. Just say yes to everything. The staff, the bartenders, even the patrons, all great, all smiles, all loving, and downright needed. Is the part of town. I can only hope this hole in the wall stays.
That's a gay guy's review.
As it is.
My review
might be generous with the use of adjectives, but I'd take the bullet over the WeHo joint hands down to no hesitation. Come on by and see the Valley vibes are all about. I wanted to go, but as soon as I walked on the Saturday night, the place reeked of cigarette smoke. How is that legal? You're getting fucked in the ass. What do you give a fuck? Keep scrolling. I've been prolonged Yelp hiatus. Because, can you go a little down more? You know I'm blind. The other way.
Dive bar.
You're going away. Go up more. Up the other way.
You high?
From the top. There you go. I've been on a prolonged Yelp hiatus because I found that this strategy horrendous, mob-like even, and their user base consists of goons threatening to use the platform, whatever the fuck.
Are these people being paid?
I want to see the menu, Brenda, not your Fashion Nova outfit. Notwithstanding, I simply adore this place. Make no mistake about it. This place is a dive. Someone ralphed inside a while back ago and it smelled like throw up for a solid. The bathroom floor is constantly covered in an inch of putrid Bud Light and prep-scented urine. You can live out your brisket fantasies and get caramel crushed smoked in the cement-covered patio. But the character, top notch. This was one of the dying breed of gay bars. Everyone now wants fancy cocktails, and they'll drink by themselves, tucked away in a corner, while thumbing through the hookup apps and drag performers. This place has a raunchy old-school skin flicks and locals that actually strike a conversation with you. It has a special night that caters to many whims and subcultures of the LGBT community. Underbear is a personal favorite to Uber Hazard men. It has some of the nicest bartenders I've ever met in a gay bar and a decent Sunday beer break. While you may be hard-pressed of Sauvignon beverage, you had a Chi-Chi bar. This place is legit, and there's always parking around the neighborhood. That's the dive bar. Welcome all the cheap drinks. Awesome place to just have a drink and chill. Who wear some nice, have special events, and there's a cover. Also, adult movies play on the screen.
I love it.
This one of the few gay bars in the Valley, but probably the best. The staff is beyond friendly and will greet you with a smile and stiff paw. And this neighborhood bar, great events, bear nights with soul music Sundays, drag bingo, movie nights, even PJ underwear events. It's a great scene without the WeHo attitude. Went for Underbear night for the first time. I will be back. Had so much fun.
What is Underbear night? We got to look this up.
Still the best. Levi Leather Gay Bar in the entire Los Angeles area. Intimate, friendly, and full of good times. Keep scrolling.
You missed the best part.
I gotta look
for the Underbear night. I will be back. Had so much fun. Hot guys, yummy shots. Also the tent.
Oh my
the tent.
God. I'm very selfish. My wife helps me to a degree. Lee helps me to a degree. But there's a degree that I can't explain to Lee what I'm doing. It would take me too long. You know, I call Lee after I do the work, and I try to tell Lee,
I see what you're saying.
This is what we did.
You can't explain it.
We called this chick. We set this lady up.
Yeah.
We're playing games with this lady. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't have time to sit Lee down at 8 in the morning because it would take me. We'd have to come over at 7. If I got an assistant, I'd have to come over at 7 and sit there.
I see what you're saying.
And my day is just bam, 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 which I don't have the time. I wish I did.
But what if she was just, you were paying her for like a certain number of hours, and then as shit just popped in your head, you hit her up and were like, oh, write this down. Like, I'm so disorganized. I almost just needed it's almost like paying a mom.
You need an assistant for other stuff. You can handle your own business.
I think that people would realize how, like Lee says. Lee said something last week that my wife has said, and I can't let that get out. Lee said to me the other day, I tell my wife all the time how crazy you are. I'm crazy, dog. I'm crazy, but I know we're going in.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy in a bad guy crazy. You know when I'm crazy? When you're fucking around, that's when I'm thinking of shit. Years ago, when I was out at 10 o'clock doing blow, I would think of shit and never do anything with it. Now, when I think of something, like there's times. All right, I had a friend growing up. His name was Anthony. Anthony was a great kid, but Anthony had the family business. So when you were 16 and you were thinking about concerts and you would call Anthony and look at him, Anthony's mind would be somewhere else because he had to pick up a body at 6. So we started calling him Gearhead because the gears were always going. And, you know, and if you smelled smoke, that means he was really thinking.
Yeah.
You know, and there's people, like, when I get up what if I go to bed at 8 tonight? I get so high. And Lee knows.
I think it's past 8 already.
Lee knows that I would go home on a Tuesday night and stay in, and at 3:30, I'll call Lee and go, Lee, look at what we're going to do tomorrow. Like it's 9 in the morning.
At 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is what we're doing.
Sure.
This is the plan of attack. And Lee's like, hold on 1 second.
He's awake?
He'll get up.
At
Lee's a
3:30 in the
savage.
morning?
Lee's a savage.
Lee, for the win.
The first year of this podcast, we were working on, I remember still calling them one night at midnight and saying, I'm sorry to call you this late. Sorry to call you. And once Lee said, it's okay.
Lee, you're a champion.
Anytime you have an idea, call me. We're family.
No way.
This is what people do.
Lee, I need you in my life.
People call you. Lee's the type of guy that'll call me at 4 and go, I thought of something. I think you should do this here. And it's a brilliant idea. But it took to get up at 4 in the fucking morning.
Yeah.
If I have to bury that idea and save it to get to you on Monday for the presentation,
all right,
I don't have time for that shit.
I would love
you
to
need
see
an all-hours person.
I'm an all-motherfucker.
All-hours
and when it's got to be done, guess what? It's got to be done. This is what needs to be done.
Maybe you can get an Alexa, so then you could
needs to be done.
You get like an Amazon Alexa.
You would need like 2 Alexas.
I don't have a manager. Because if I got to call you to do your fucking job, we're going to have a problem. And guess what? I've been doing your job just fine for 20 years, and even better than you would do it. You know,
you wouldn't know the movie.
Joey does it all.
Lee knows. Lee knows that. I'll call Lee at 10. And anybody who's representing me, by the time they get in at 9, they got 3 emails from me instructing them on the move. Because sometimes it's not telling people what to do. It's the move that people don't understand. I don't have time to tell you about the move till after you come to me and say,
you're right.
How did you do this? Nobody could get to him. Well, he goes to AA. And he's friends with a friend of mine that goes to AA, and my friend put the bug in his ear. You following me?
No, I'm not following you.
I don't have time to explain this shit to you or nobody else how I'm going to make the move here.
Are you following?
My mind works.
No, it happens all the time.
In a creepy, criminal, elementary type of way that when I say it to you, because it's like when I wanted the movie The Longest Yard.
Yeah.
It pissed me off that they wouldn't read me. What did I do? I was in Houston, Texas. I hired this guy to tape me with a fucking football jersey on and a helmet. And I sent the tape to Adam Sandler. He got it. And they called me and they took me to lunch. They wanted a star for that movie. I didn't give a fuck. That movie belonged to me.
That's
Why?
so dope.
Because they were looking at Tony Saragusa or Big Pussy from The Sopranos. They're not comedians. Sorry, I spit on your tit. They're not comedians.
No, you didn't.
It went right into cleavage. It was tremendous.
No, it didn't.
Even if I was a freak, I couldn't spit in your tits. You saw it go just right in your little titty there. Tremendous. You couldn't pay for somebody to spit in your cleavage. That's how good I am. Anyway.
I don't even think that happened.
I did not accept that. I did not accept that.
That is the best story.
I did not accept that because at that time I was following Paul Mooney at the Comedy Store every night. And let me tell you something. Those guys might have been a celebrity funny guy. But at that time, I was following Paul Mooney every fucking night. I would drive to die. I don't know too many people that drive to die. I was driving to die, and I would get so pissed about doing that.
So you wanted to get better.
I resented even not thinking that you wouldn't put me in your movie. I'm a real comic. I did comedy at Buffalo at the halftime of the Sabres game and got booed. That's a comedian, okay?
Yeah.
And I stuck it out. So when I made that tape and sent it, like, I was fucking that, I believed that much in me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it was that much
huge.
belief. I couldn't teach somebody to do that. By the time I told my agent, when I got back was when I called my agent. I go, you're not going to believe what I did. And
I think that happens all the time, a lot. I mean, because that's the thing in this business.
By the time you tell your agent,
can't wait.
No,
you can't sit around and wait for that. That's, I think, the biggest mistake people make when they come out here. They get representation and then they just sit and they wait for them to call.
Yep.
And now it's like, with everything you can do with social media, with
Shit.
a podcast,
Bitch, let me
you could
tell you
do
what
so
I
much.
did today.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like it's laziness, and then I meet people that are like,
Well, they don't get in until 10. We'll call them at 9.
yeah,
I guarantee they're in the office. They're Jewish. They're in the office. I'll never forget. My first manager. I was trying to get in. I was a Cuban. Miami Improv had just opened. I would call him every day at 9. Did you get me into the Miami Improv? I called and left a message. She wants you to send a tape. Did you get me into the Miami Improv?
yeah,
Because I'm one of those dudes that don't tell me about the tape shit. I
yeah.
hired you to do a fucking job. I don't know nothing about no tape.
Convince them. Yeah,
Convince them.
They're gonna
This is
take
what
me.
you are.
You need this. Yeah.
And finally, one day, I called Sarah, and she picked up the phone. The first ring, I go, Sarah and this is Joey Diaz. I've been trying to get in the club. She goes, hold on, let me get my dates for you. And she gave me the dates, and I called that idiot. And I go, hey, man, how are you? I go, did you get a hold of Sarah? He goes, no, she never answers the
way.
phone. I go, grab the book. I'm in Buffalo January 8th or whatever, and in Miami the following week. And he shit his pants. I fired him 3 months later.
I was just gonna say, I hope
That's
you
how I
didn't keep
work.
him for
That's
long.
how I work.
Yeah, I mean, if they're not
I
helping
don't
you,
have time
then
for fucking
no.
around. When I need something, I got to dive in there. And I dive in a little different. A couple months ago, I was on that tour. And they canceled the first 4 dates. Word was they weren't going to pay nobody. I heard a lot of people didn't get paid.
Oh, the oddball thing.
I went to my agent. I go, listen, bro. This is like me giving Kate money for a pound of weed from Lee.
A bad idea.
Guess who's responsible? On the street, if this happened, guess who's responsible? Okay, you are.
Yeah.
You better give me the 800 for that fucking pound.
Yeah.
Guess what I did? I called the guy directly, like a man. I said, I got a wife and a kid. I go, either pay me that money or we got to figure something out. Sure enough, he put me on the tour and he gave me 3 nights.
No
And we
way.
evened it up. And my agent kept saying, I don't know if he's going to go for it.
You got
I
it
called
done.
him and said, I looked at the Irvine schedule. It looked a little on the fucking white side, don't you
Nuh-uh.
think?
That's what you have to do.
And he put me on there. I go, you got to put some soul
Just
into
gotta
that
do it
fucking
yourself. Always. You just gotta do
thing.
it
And
yourself.
I don't have the confidence. I have the confidence in Lee for a lot of things. Lee knows. But in some rock and roll situations, I got to rock and roll, dog. I got to rock and roll. This is and this always has to get done.
Gotta rock it.
Yeah, we got to rock and roll. We ain't got time for church or none
No.
of that shit. This comes first, and that's what most people don't understand. Me, I don't give a fuck. The worst thing you can say is no. Get her on the stick. So if I got to tell you to get, situation happened a month ago with the special with CISO.
Yeah.
And I shut my mouth. I didn't say nothing. When I got the call from CISO the next day that the special had been the #1 viewed special in the history of CISO,
Dope.
I called the manager and told her. I knew they were going. At this point, they were on the fence. 70% they were going. I fired them before.
Oh, wow.
But they kept their IMDb up, and they kept getting calls from me, and we kept the relationship open.
Oh, I see.
And I decided that, listen, you guys got to show up with something. This cannot be IMDb Central, and I'm paying you 10 points. I don't need a receptionist.
No.
That's what I'm saying. I don't need
They
a
weren't doing
receptionist.
anything you couldn't do
So
yourself.
when I emailed her the CISO thing, I wanted her to think of the next move. And I gave it 3 days to think about it. She never did it. And I knew right there they were 80% off the gate. Then they had one thing holding them to the thing. That was December 19th. They were supposed to call me. And they never called on December 20th. I said, they're gone.
Oh,
It
wow.
was that easy in my mind. On
Yeah.
the 3rd, I picked up the phone and said, I love you to death. Off. And they were like, ha, ha, ha. And I called her on Monday and said, do me a favor. Get me off the fucking IMDb so there's no misunderstanding.
I mean, that's the thing.
I don't have time. I got a
They
wife
have
and a
to.
kid.
They have to be.
I got a wife and a kid, dog.
Initiating.
I got a wife and a kid.
Yeah.
I need an assistant to do what? To go to the laundry for me? Am I that vain? I need an assistant to do what? To vacuum?
But
to
I
come
mean-
over and do what? And listen to me say what?
But what if you needed help with just that stuff? Even like, what if you were like what if you were single and what if you were just so crazy busy and you? I don't know. You just
The thoughts that come into my head, I'm a pot smoker for 30 years. The thoughts that come into my head for business are like people that are molested. Not people that are molested.
what?
People that are demented and hear voices and shit. That's how this life comes into my head on a daily basis. So I'll be sitting here going, I got to go to Nashville in 2 weeks. And all of a sudden I'll make a move and at 2 in the afternoon, they'll just come to me. By the time I call Kate and tell her what the move is and why.
Oh yeah, I don't think you need somebody for that mundane of it. Yeah,
that's time.
Yeah, that's
stuff,
crazy.
You know.
Yeah.
There's jobs in Hollywood that Lee and I and somebody else were on the show talking about this 3 weeks ago. That one day your show is over, and you go to your accountant, or as they call them in LA, business manager, another 2.5% out of your paycheck
Right.
for somebody to pay your bills.
Yeah.
With a 50% that one day they're going to disappear. Dane Cook's brother robbed
I don't
him.
think I make enough money for that.
Right. I don't know these people.
I'm getting
are
paid in
business
chicken
managers.
nachos. I don't know what.
My wife's an accountant. My wife does not work anymore. She takes care of the baby. Baby goes to school. My wife could do all that stuff. And I trust my wife. And then if she does take the money, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? She raised a child. She sat there and a kid came out of her pussy. That trumps everything.
She wins.
Yeah, she wins. I'm
Yeah,
not going to
she
argue
deserves-
with her. I'm 54 years old next month.
That entitles her to 10% off the top or
Yeah,
something.
I'm gonna sit there and argue it. I'll get a little apartment. I'm moving with Lee, and we'll fucking get the party started.
I would love to see you guys as roomies in a
fucking
studio apartment like
the
this.
real fucking odd couple.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But
Oh my God, that'd
you
be
know, to have Franco run your business affairs and pay your checks, and like people call me all the time, and the services sound great. I just can't. Guys, you come out here, you're fucking broke. You're fighting every month. You're fighting.
So broke.
Okay, you break it down to the month, and then you learn to break it down to the. I was down to the day. I lived for the day. I had it down to it's the day. You don't know what's gonna happen, because I had this little promoter that used to call me, this big fat black dude, and he'd always give me a gig and always go, "I got a deposit for you." And me and Felipe, we used to always take his 500, and then he'd call us up and he'd go, "Dog, I canceled the gig." And then he calls back 2 weeks later and go, "Listen, I got another date. All right, send us a deposit." You motherfuckers ain't right. No, dog, that deposit.
You gotta have it.
Yeah, it was for the date you fucking banged the South for before.
Do you know how broke I was when I first moved to LA? I got this shithole studio apartment now it's like where the Target is in West Hollywood, Santa Monica and La Brea. Back then, it was so ghetto. It was all hookers and crackheads. You know where the Target is?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I remember before they even had the fucking
Before the Target
there.
was there. Yeah, this was like 11, 12 years ago, right? I was so broke. I rented this place. Sight unseen, because I had one day to find an apartment. I was in my car, sleeping in my car. So I rent this place. It was Section 8 housing. I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't even know. It had a pool, though. That's why I took it. It was the only place I could afford with a pool. So I was like, fuck it. I'll take it. The pool, by the way, definitely had like AIDS swimming in it. Like it was the grossest, dirtiest pool. I take this apartment. I have no furniture. I go in there with an air mattress. I had a TV tray for like a quote desk. No TV, nothing. I'm sleeping on the floor on the air mattress. After a couple days, I go to the grocery store to buy food. I waited like 3 days. I had no money to get paid for a job. I go to buy food. I come home with all my groceries, and I realize that I didn't have a fridge. Because apartments in LA don't always come with a fridge.
They don't come with a fridge.
But I didn't even notice there was no fridge.
Some of them don't come with stoves.
Yeah, I was so exhausted from just like moving here, and I was already auditioning. Like I hit the ground fucking running, like auditioning, acting classes. I spent all my money on that. I come home with these fucking 2 bags that I like walked home 7 blocks, and I get there and I have no fridge. So then all my shit went bad because I couldn't afford a fridge. And then like a week later, I bought like a dorm fridge off some dude off Craigslist for like $20 that had like mold growing in it. I was so poor, but I was the happiest I'd ever been. Like I lived like that for 6 months with no furniture. But I started doing stand up, and I got lucky and I booked a gig right away on a TV show just one day. But so I felt like, oh, I'm in the right place. I'm going to make it. They already love me. I booked a job. And then after that, I booked nothing for like 2 years.
That's happened to me.
Yeah. And I was so poor.
I booked a pilot, a fucking commercial, and something else. And then the well dried up. I couldn't fucking book a headshot. And my manager was really good at the time. And I broke up with that girl. Me and her got into a fight in the fucking street. And I took a flight to Miami like a week later. And I stayed in Miami for 6 weeks and just house emceed. And he paid me like $300 a week. I stole like $400 a week.
How did you steal money?
Don't ask. You know what I'm saying? Don't
He has
I
his
need
ways,
these skills. How?
It was fucking craziness. And then, so I was telling, when I first got here, I couldn't find an agent. So I had to sign with an agency called The Coloring Book. It was two black chicks. One was a really badass attorney, though. Bad, lethal.
Yeah.
Like, whenever she booked you a job, you were getting paid. Like, paid.
That's good.
Because she knew all the numbers.
Is she still an agent? I'll take her.
No, they both left. The one agent, that was my agent, I loved her dearly. Her husband cheated on her with a white chick. So she moved back to D.C. with the kids. And the other one, the husband cheated on her with a white chick. And she moved back to Atlanta. So they used to keep in touch for years. If you ever get something, let us in on it. But the reason why I stopped talking to her, and I really liked her, was because when reality got really hot, I was here right before the boom. Rogan was already on Fear Factor the first year, and it was off and running.
Yeah.
I was with this agency called PJ Linder and Associates. They were a host agent. Let me tell you something. Every day, they had my Cuban ass out. Spanish shows,
That's dope.
American shows, they didn't give a fuck. And one of the shows, well, they got me a meeting with this guy. I don't know what his name was, but he was gayer than fuck. And I started talking. And finally he goes, you know what? When you speak, it just, my soul, when he's telling me all this shit.
He was in love with you.
He goes, this is what we're going to do. We're going to...
Did you get casting couch? Please tell me. Please tell me.
No.
Come back to my hotel. I want to show you some scripts.
No.
Can I jerk off in front of a plant?
Listen to me. He was really soft guy. He looked like not a tough guy, but he looked like a little assertive guy. But after 10 minutes, I just broke him.
What do you mean?
All the feathers came flying out of him.
Wait, what do you mean you broke him?
Because he was asking me stories, and I was telling him stories about my childhood, and he was kind of like getting teary-eyed and shit. And I broke him. And he goes, oh my God, I kind of grew up the same way. And I'm like, oh, this guy's gayer than fucking. I didn't give a fuck. It had nothing to do with me. He was one of the first people that really listened. And he goes, you know what? I have these friends. And he got right in front of me. He got on the phone. He goes, hey, man, you guys still putting that game together, that game show? And they go, we're thinking about it, but we had a bump. And he goes, what's the bump? And he goes, well, we don't know who to cast. Who we really wants a lot of money. And he goes, who you want to cast is sitting right in front of me.
What game show is this?
It was a game show where you go out to dinner with your husband and we burglarize your house.
Shut up.
Something just.
That's a game show?
This is. It was like a reality.
How do you win?
You have to win your
It
stuff.
was like a mock. It was like a mock.
That sounds
reality type
amazing.
Show. It was NBC. It was fucking MB. At that time, they didn't know what was going to happen.
You burglarized the house?
So they were not me. Hold on. So they were picking up. They were picking up everything. Kate Quigley.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know what reality was going to buy. They didn't know that the Bachelorette was going to be popular.
Sure.
They did not know these things. So this was slash. What do you call those things? What are those cars that are half electric, half fucking
hybrid?
gas? This was going to be a hybrid show.
I might have seen this. Is this the one?
No. You never seen Dick.
Oh.
They had a show in like the early 2000s with two guys who were breaking into houses.
But that was to teach you how guys would break in.
No. This was a show where a family went out. We got their alarm codes.
Oh my God.
And then we broke into your house. And I was the host of the show. And these people broke into your house. And then, how did you get your stuff back?
The kids come home, they're like crying, like all their shit is gone.
Something really weird. And then...
Was the game show like taking place inside the house?
Was the game show like how far can you be pushed before you kill yourself?
All I remember is, guys, that they had me at Paramount in front of a fucking like
right away.
Like 3 weeks later, this fucking thing started. And they're like, you're the man. They came to see me at the store. They stayed for 2 spots, and they're like, you're the
That
host.
is perfect for you.
They're like, you're the host. So we go back and forth. Now they want to do a screen test for the network. So we go to Paramount, and I get up on stage, and the lights are behind me, and the houses, and I got to do this fucking spiel. All right? So, okay, the show's going to go. I had a manager and an agent at the time. My agent was good, but my manager was just brilliant. He was just brilliant. I was too bad to be with him.
Yeah.
He was over talented. He had no business signing me, but he thought that he could get a show with me.
I still feel like that now.
Like he thought I could get a show with me. So he was powerful as fuck. Well, fucking, he wakes me up the next morning, guys. I'm broke as fuck. Okay, I'm living
Sure.
with Terry, $700 a month rent. We can't make it. We got 3 or 4 cats. You know, you ready for this, guys? I got to call. Bling, Joey, Jeff, how you doing? I talked to those people last night. I got them up to 15,000 an episode for the pilot, and if the show goes, you're gonna pick up 27.5.
Holy shit.
First time on TV
For the episodes?
per episode.
Holy
With
shit.
a 13 episode commitment.
Did you get it?
Listen to me, bro. I'm telling you a fucking story.
I love when you call me
You
bro.
gotta break the fucking
I get turned
drama
on.
here. This went on. This went on for like a day and a half. Then I got a call from my agent. This is gonna happen to you, Kate Quigley. You ready for this, Lee Syatt? You're broke, Lee. You're broke.
This
You
has
just had to borrow money from your father. You're about to borrow money from your mother, and your agent calls you and tells you got a meeting, and the next thing you know, they want to do a show, and you're the host on NBC, not fucking Oxygen or fucking Mama
Playboy
Luke
Channel.
Central. You've been here for 2 fucking years, Lee. 2 years you've been here, and NBC is already barking. And your manager just calls you and says to you, listen to me, they're going to give you $15,000 for the pilot. And if the show gets picked up, which we have so much power around it,
Yeah.
you're going to get $27,000 an episode for the first season.
Oh, my God.
Okay, Lee, you're going to hang up the phone, call your mother.
Of
you're gonna call
course.
everybody you know. Okay. I'm fucking ecstatic, okay? Now NBC wants to see me again. Back down in Paramount. I don't know why we're going to Paramount. We shoot down to fucking Paramount. And there's the black agent and Jeff, my manager,
Yeah.
who's a barracuda. Okay? We go into the office. They talk to us. We're going to type up the contracts. Beautiful. I walk out of that room. All I'm seeing is Coke rocks and women. All I'm seeing are
Women
Coke
out of your
rocks
league.
and women that look
Yeah.
like you.
Aw,
That's
thank-
all I'm seeing. Women flying, women getting fingered, sucking dick, eating ass, the whole thing.
Guys are
27.5. That means right off the bat, I'm
get-
getting $275,000. I'm getting about $400,000 when it's all said and done. I'm fucking walking out of that room, and all of a sudden the black agent turns around and looks at the little Jew, and she goes, "Hey, I think you're undercutting my client."
No. Oh my God. No.
And he goes,
no.
"What are you talking about?" And he goes, "You're undercutting my client. My client should be getting 25 for the fucking pilot and 35 for the fucking episode." And I'm looking at her, and my insides are falling apart. And she's like, "Well, I'm the agent. You're the manager. You weren't even supposed to negotiate the deal."
What the fuck?
So I'm going back in there just to let you know. That's. I'll report you. Blah 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 blah.
What did you do?
Tackled her like
Did
a
you say
football play.
anything?
Shit coming out of my ass. I didn't know what to say.
Oh my God. I know. You don't even know.
But wait a second. Wait a second. One time, you know me, guys. I don't even like saying this type of shit. But let me put it this way. She talked. I'm not going to give you the number. Like, I was flat broke living in Seattle. And CBS came to me, and I called my friend, and he told me, call her. So I called around for 2 days first to see if a real agent would sign me. And everybody was like, fuck no, we don't give a fuck who you are. I was sending everybody credits, semi-finalist in the Seattle comedy
Right,
competition.
right.
And they're like, take that fax and shove it up your ass. Nobody wants to sign you, chubby.
Not facts.
And she signed me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she goes, what does CBS want to give you? And I go, I didn't ask. I don't even know what they give you. I don't even know what they're supposed to give you. She goes, a unit. She goes, are you union or non-union? I go, I'm non-union. She goes, okay. She goes, have you ever acted before? I go, I did a college film that won the Boulder, Colorado film. It's because shut the fuck up. I go, and I'm like, but it won the festival. And she's like, shut the fuck up with a college film. So I go, okay. And she goes, have you ever done anything before? And I go, no, I did industrials in Seattle. And she goes, okay. She goes, let me call you back. And she calls me back, and I'm not going to tell you the number because I'm embarrassed. I was living in Seattle. I was living in a fucking office. I
remember that.
And, I had a car that blew up and shit. And this bitch calls me, and she goes, listen, there's what they want to offer you. No, she goes, you have a fax?
I
go, yep.
I'm in an office.
And she faxes me the fucking offer, and it was peanuts. And she goes, that's what they wanted to pay you. What do you think? And I go, I don't know. I got to get all the way down there from Seattle.
Yeah.
She goes, okay, give me an hour. And the number she came back with compared to the offer NBC that I saw on the paper
Yeah.
was I was like, how did you do that? And she's like, that's what I do.
Yeah. She was dope.
And she goes, she was black, and she goes, I make niggas money. She got them to move me.
Yeah, no way.
I had no furniture. I had nothing. I had a fucking duffel bag. I had a duffel bag.
This is all for that.
Like a plane ticket?
Huh?
This is for a different show, not for the game show.
No. This is for a different show.
That's
I'm
amazing.
just telling you how bad to the bone she was.
She was an amazing.
Like
so when she said she was going to try to get you more money, on the inside were like,
inside was like,
she did it before.
More money, more blow.
Yeah.
You know what
totally.
I'm saying?
I get that.
More money, more blow. When you want to be a painter or something to do with art, and then one day money gets involved. You know, money fucking fucks shit up sometimes, weird. And you're like, well, what am I gonna do? I have done this. You know, then I think about all the years I made $8,000.
Were you happier?
I had to sleep on the couch.
I was happier though.
Oh my God, I used to be so happy.
I was so when I was married, I had a job where I made so much money. I used to do these gigs where I would be like basically a spokesmodel for different brands, like high-end brands like BMW, Mercedes. I would make like $800 a week plus, or I'm sorry, $800 a day plus per diem. Like I would make so much. Yeah, it was fucking crazy. But I was miserable. I hated it. I hated everything about it. I didn't give a fuck about the cars. I didn't want to wear the outfit. I didn't want to talk to the people. And then I quit that and I got a studio in LA in the fucking worst building you've ever seen. I literally had a naked crackhead sleeping outside my apartment door in the hallway, in the interior hallway for like a year. And I knew him by name. Like I would come out and he'd be like laying there naked with like a boner. First thing in the morning, I'd be like, hey, Ted, and just walk down the hall. I slept on the floor. I had no furniture. At the time I was married, but my ex was on the road doing like gigs, doing other shit. And I was the happiest I'd ever been. I was doing stand-up and I was auditioning and I just felt so alive, but I was making no money. But I just hated, like that's the thing. Like I meet people that go, well, don't you want more? Don't you want to like get out of it? Like now I live in a shitty 1-bedroom apartment. People are like, don't you want to get out of here? And I'm like, I don't really care. I'm happy now. Like, even though I say, like, yeah, I get depressed when my career is kind of slumping or whatever.
But when you mean depressed?
I get depressed,
You're the type
man.
of motherfucker like me. You get depressed for 48 minutes.
No.
And then you go, what the fuck is my problem?
Lately, I've been depressed for days. But you know what part of it is? You know what it is? I'll tell you. It's relationship shit. Because the thing is, you can't have, I mean, you do it, you're married, and you manage to do it. But for me, I find starting a relationship, maintaining a relationship, and focusing on building your career is impossible. It's impossible.
And you have 92 guys you're hunting.
No, I really don't.
You're a 92.
I don't hump them all. I do date around, but I don't fuck them all.
No, here's the thing. I once told a very funny woman,
Give up.
10 years ago, came up to me one day and she goes, I don't know what to do anymore. I'm going to bring guys, this. And I said, listen, you didn't move to L.A. to fall in love.
No. But,
okay, and I understand the sadness and the lonely part of it. People think that when you're on the road, it's fucking jumping up and down.
Oh.
Some nights, you're in a hotel for 2 nights by yourself, and Law and Order, you can't watch it anymore, and you don't want to go downstairs and smoke weed.
And I'm a girl, so I'm not taking audience members back to my room. Like, guys, you know, you might go out and, like, bring back an audience member. I'm not doing that, you know, so it's a little different, but it's just... I don't want to fall in love. I don't want to get married again, but I want something more than just I show up and fuck you. And it's almost impossible to have anything healthy and pursue my career. So lately I've been feeling like I have to choose, which is like, I think that's what's bumming me out. But I have had some really hot hookups lately, so it's not all bad. But
no, and that's
not what I want though.
That's it. See, look, there's 1,001 complaints that women lay on you. I sit here and I cleaned out my desk a couple months ago, and in one of the folders I found all my first couple of years. You know, when you get a spot at the store, you steal the piece of paper from the wall. I found all of those. I found all my call sheets from Spider-Man 2 and The Longest Yard and Law and Order. Anything I had done, I found the call sheets.
That's
you know.
cool.
And I ripped out all those lineups, and I looked at the thing, and first off, the first thing I looked at
Who's still working?
It was still 16 fucking comics in the lineup. There's always 2 girls. So all these women that are crying about today that they don't put enough women at the store, it was the same shit. I got the lineups for days in a row, for years.
There's not as many of us, though.
Okay, so right away, you've never been one of those that whined. you've always gone after it. Okay? You've always gone
Thanks.
after it. And that's where you gain my respect. Because some people, like you said, this is tough. This isn't like a year and then it ends. This is every day.
Yeah.
I'm here 20 fucking years, and this morning's Lee gets up, and I've already fucking tweeted, the whole fucking thing written. I've already done 1,000 things. Why? Because I know that something could happen at any time. I could get a call.
It's true.
And this could all change. I've lived here for a long time. I remember auditioning for a movie April 5th and having people call them every fucking day. And then one day they called me in July and said, "What are you doing tomorrow?"
You're so right, man.
And I go, "I'm not doing anything." Why? They like, "Do you want to go to a table read tomorrow about 1 o'clock?" And I said, "Sure, I'll be there." And they go, "All right, we'll see you there at 1." And then about 2 hours later, they called back and said, "Hey, what are you doing after the table read tomorrow?" And I go, "Nothing." They go, "You want to take a flight? You want to take a flight down to Albuquerque, New Mexico with us and shoot for 6 weeks?" So right there, people people have no idea when somebody calls you on a Monday.
It's true.
And says Tuesday at 1 o'clock, you got to go somewhere, and at 4 you're taking a fucking plane.
You're right.
To New Mexico, and you got to put all your business in order.
Also,
you got to lay it on your girlfriend or whoever to watch your cat or your fucking dog.
You're right.
You got to have somebody deposit the checks because you're not going to get paid on the set in Albuquerque. They're going to send the checks to your house.
Yeah. You're right, though, man. And the thing is, it's like you got to be ready for that. But also, I can't tell you how many times I didn't pick up my phone and I called back an hour and a half later and the job is gone. I mean, you got to be so on it.
No, I don't give a fuck what anybody tells me.